What is going on YouTube? This is 717 Sports Chat Live previews. Crawford versus Porter for the WBO Welterweight World Championship. It's been a long time coming for Terrence Crawford fans for this guy to get in the ring with somebody meaningful. And in all honesty, in the welterweight division, I don't think there's anybody tougher than one Shawn Porter. As always, it's me, Marcus. It's me, Roberto P. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody in the 717 and abroad is having a great night. Cuz, how's your day? How's your day been and how's your night going?
Going very good, very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially that OBJ news.
I ain't gonna brag though. I ain't gonna brag though.
Yeah, we gotta get the deal signed first.
Yeah.
Gotta get the deal signed first. But as we know, it's going down in a couple short weeks. Terrence Bud Crawford versus Showtime Shawn Porter for the WBO welterweight title. I mean, in all honesty, this is Terrence Crawford's biggest fight ever. Like throughout his whole career. I mean, he's had some okay wins, some quality wins, but I think it's safe to say if you look at his resume, it's easily this is the best fight he's ever going to fight so far. And we've been clamoring for him to fight the likes of Errol Spence, the top guys on welterweight, etc. Now he's finally at least got one. And Showtime Shawn Porter. With that being said, a lot of people are favoring Bud Crawford to win this fight. Who do you have winning this fight first and foremost? Because who do you have winning this
Terrence
fight?
Crawford.
Why? How? Okay, so why does Crawford win this fight?
Because he's the better boxer.
Okay. I mean, I can agree with that assessment. Any other reason?
I just think he's the better boxer. And I think he is going to outbox him. You could say, Shawn Porter's aggressive and all that, but that can only take you so far. It can only take you so far when you're going against a real boxer.
I mean, I can agree with that assessment. My thing is, obviously, like I said, is that this is easily Bud Crawford's toughest fight. I've seen him get knocked down by lesser quality opponents and a guy who, in much to Shawn Porter's defense, was pretty aggressive and had some power. My thing is this: I don't look at Bud Crawford as a true welterweight, and I think that could spell problems for him against some of these bigger guys like Danny Garcia, like Showtime Shawn Porter. And granted, there's no doubt
I think Danny
he's
Garcia moved
easily
up
the
to
better skilled
154.
boxer. But we've never seen Bud Crawford get into a dogfight. And we've seen Shawn Porter get into dog fights with Spence, with Garcia. It's easy. Porter has the way better resume in terms of fighters fought. And that's a big thing for me going in this fight. It's the caliber of opponents fought, especially in this championship level type fights. I give that edge wholeheartedly to Porter. To me, that trumps any skill that Crawford might have, because sure, you have all this skill. It looks good on paper against this lesser opposition, but will that skill carry in against the big dogs? Now you're in the big dogs. I mean, for Crawford, he has to win this fight. Has to. Because if he loses, then all the howling about I'm the best welterweight, Spence is scared to fight me, that goes away. Especially being that Spence, as difficult as it was, it literally took a knockdown, for him to beat Shawn Porter. Spence beat Shawn Porter. So if Crawford can't beat Shawn Porter, it would really look bad for Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? So, for me, why Crawford would win this fight is, like you said, he has to execute his better boxing acumen. He is a better pure boxer. He has better combinations. I think he's stronger than what people give him credit for. I think he hits harder than what people give him credit for. So he just has to do what Bud Crawford has to do. The biggest thing that I think what a lot of guys do with Shawn Porter is they get overwhelmed by that pressure. He
Yeah.
can't get overwhelmed by that pressure. If he doesn't get overwhelmed by that pressure, that's how he wins this fight. That's the biggest thing for me. Don't get overwhelmed by the pressure. He withstands that pressure. He's got it. So we're going to move on to why does Shawn Porter win this fight? How does Shawn Porter win this fight? How does Shawn Porter pull off the quote unquote upset in this fight? Because he is the underdog, as he always is. So how does Shawn Porter once again show to the boxing public that, hey, I'm better than these guys? Like, let's really be honest here. If Errol Spence doesn't get that knockdown, Shawn Porter beats him.
Or you could look at a draw.
Or a draw. Or at least a draw.
Then a rematch, probably.
One way or another, there's going to be a 1 on Errol Spence's record.
Yeah.
I mean, so with that being said, how does Showtime Shawn Porter win this fight against Terrence Bud Crawford?
Apply the pressure and apply the pressure to see how he will react to it. Because we don't know how he will react to it yet.
That is true.
So I think apply the pressure, test him, and show that he has been here before. Mm-hmm. He's been in championship fights before. Show the experience when it comes to the championship rounds. And I feel like he don't put too much energy in the earlier rounds. Be aggressive towards the end, in the middle.
I agree with that. I think,
but don't try to box him. Do not box him.
I think what Porter needs to do early is to somewhat, I want to say try to box him, but make it look like he's trying to box him, but don't get hit with anything solidified. Like, don't get hit with anything clean. If he can withstand that, then later on, he can crank up the pressure. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him spend all that gas. I don't want to see him waste all his gas in the early rounds, because then I would favor the later rounds to Bud Crawford in that sense.
I don't want him to box him in the early rounds neither.
But the biggest thing I think Porter has to do is, even if he's not punching on the inside, lean on him. Use that size. He's the bigger guy. You know what I mean? He has to use that size. He has to use that size. If he can use that size and keep Bud Crawford up against, the key for Porter is obviously don't fight in the center of the ring. Don't fight in the center of the ring. If he fights Crawford in the center of the ring, it's not going to be a close fight. He has to do what he did to Spence. He has to do what he did to Garcia. Back him up, get him up against the ropes, use that weight, that bigger frame, and then just eat. Throw big bombs, throw combinations to the body. I think this is going to be a fun fight. I think this is going to be a slugfest. I think this is going to definitely test Terrence's chin and test his heart. Now, I'm not saying Porter's going to knock him down, because I do think Porter lacks that type of power.
She woke up and said, good.
But I think he has enough power to bust him up.
Yeah.
Swell him up, cut him open. Like I said, we haven't seen Terrence Crawford fight. I mean, what can we say Bud Crawford's best win was against? You could say Victor Postal, because it was for the undisputed junior welterweight titles. Or you could say Yuri Orcus Gamboa. To me, I would lean more towards Gamboa because of the name.
Yeah.
And that was almost 7-8 years ago, something like that.
You don't think Amir Khan is up there?
No. He's a bust. Amir Khan's a bust. He had all this hope. I'm gonna tell you something. I feel bad for Amir Khan. No, because I like Amir Khan.
He's good. He's got no chin.
Yes, exactly. He is the classic case of the guy with all the skills, all the hand speed in the world.
Yeah.
And he just cannot take a shot. That's just what it is.
He just
can't take it. It's not him, it's his body.
Yeah.
His chin and the way his body is, it just can't take that punishment. Victor Ortiz is the same type of fighter.
Yeah.
Really good fighter. Really good skills. Just can't take a punch. No heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No real heart. But I think Shawn Porter, how he wins this fight is be Shawn Porter. Don't, like you said, don't try to get into a boxing match with him. However, I do say in the early rounds, get that jab going, jab his way in, because sometimes Porter likes to just bum rush his way in, and I think doing that against Crawford, that would be a big mistake.
Yeah.
That would be a big mistake. In terms of with Spence, he was able to get away with that with Spence because I'm not gonna lie, like Spence, it's not saying he doesn't have hand speed, but
he's
Spence
more of
is a lot more calculated.
He's a lot more calmer fighter. He's not gonna
Crawford, on the other hand, you hit him with a good shot, he's gonna try piecing you up with a good 3 to 5 punch combination.
Yeah.
He don't like it when you land clean on him. I will say that about Crawford. If you land clean on him, expect at least a combination of return back after that. So, with that being said, final predictions in this fight. How will this fight go down? Will it be a decision, a unanimous decision, split decision, or a knockout? And who wins? Well, obviously, you're going with Crawford. So, how does Crawford, what's the final prediction on how Crawford wins? Knockout, split decision, or unanimous decision?
I got him winning the whole way. I got to be a majority decision.
Majority decision. Man, I'm going split.
You're going to put who's going to win? Terrence?
Porter.
I got Terrence winning, man.
Porter.
He's a better boxer.
I'm going Porter because, like I said, I'm not saying he can't do it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
To where this guy has been dragged into a dogfight.
But you said that with Caleb Plant.
You know what I mean? But that was just one shot. Like that one good thunderous shot that landed out of the sky.
You know what I'm saying? But we didn't see, we didn't see that from, we didn't see no championship type boxing for Caleb Plant. You predicted him to win against Canelo.
Yeah. No. I get that. Okay, in terms of what you're saying, I get that. You know what I mean? But
it's in the first and second round. You're feeling that person.
Crawford's better than Plant, skill-wise.
He is.
So
you ever see a boxer come in?
Whoa. Are you sure about that?
And he's on his ass real quick because
just in terms of power, man. Yeah. He can get guys out of there.
Look at Floyd.
I'm going to put it this way. If Plant had the tenacity and the power that Crawford has to get guys out of there, he would have knocked Canelo out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I give Crawford. He has the tenacity to finish guys. He's another one of those guys. Honestly, I have Crawford the second best finisher in boxing behind Canelo. Because when he has guys hurt, he puts them away. I give that about Crawford. It's just different. You know what I mean? I just feel like, and see, it's a different fight than what Plant going into Canelo, because you knew Canelo was going to take his time trying to get to Plant. Canelo was never going to be worried about Plant's power. And I'm not saying Crawford's worried about Porter's power, but he's worried about the size disadvantage, because he is at a size disadvantage, and the roughhouse tactics, the headbutts. You know what I mean? The somewhat low punches behind the belt, below the belt. The dirty, the dirty boxing style of Shawn Porter. It's not like a meticulous Canelo who's just walking him down. Shawn Porter is coming full force, jab, sometimes no jab, and he's swinging in, and he's grabbing a hold of you. He's pushing you to the ropes. Like, this is, and I haven't seen Crawford in that type of fight, in that type of environment. And I just feel like Shawn Porter's going to drag him into this environment, and I don't know if Crawford can swim because we haven't seen him swim yet. Now, I'm not saying that it's not impossible that he can't swim, because it's a very big possibility he can swim and he goes out there and dusts Shawn Porter off. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be a lot harder than what Crawford himself believes. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of underestimating and looking past Shawn Porter. And I think that's a mistake. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, this guy, every single fight you see it, he's coming to fight his heart out. He's coming. He's not the prettiest boxer, but he's the gutsiest boxer. Mm-hmm. He's the guy who's going to go in there. He's, like I said, he's going to jab his way in, or he's just going to grab a hold of you, throw you to the ropes, swing hard wild punches, and make it ugly. And I don't know if Crawford's ready for this type of fight.
I think Porter's going to run into a lot of punches, a lot of jabs, and a lot of overhand rights, and a lot of uppercuts too. Ducking his head. He ducks his head a lot. He's going to get hit with a lot of uppercuts.
He does do that. He does. That is one thing I peeped out, and I was reviewing some tape on both of them as their fight styles. And the one thing I do see a lot with Shawn Porter is that he goes up and down a lot. And like in terms of when he's moving forward, he doesn't always go side to side. He goes up, down. And that could be a problem with Crawford, who has a very good uppercut. Mm-hmm. A very, very good uppercut. He has a very nasty uppercut.
She does.
So, I mean, man, I'm going. Like I said, though, I'm going with Porter by a split decision. I think it's going to be a dog fight. I think it's got the potential to be fight of the year. I just think Porter. You know how Porter always, most of the time, it's like Garcia was the only fight that he was able to get a close decision. He got robbed against Durman. One could say, you know,
should have lost that night.
Huh?
Should have lost that night.
Who?
Freaking Shawn Porter. Danny Garcia won that fight.
No, he didn't.
He won that fight.
No, he didn't, man. He got
look back, look back and watch the fight.
I'm not saying Danny didn't do
he
good
outman.
work.
He landed the most cleaner punches.
No, he did, man. No.
Most Shawn Porter's punches weren't landing.
He got outworked. Doesn't matter. When it came down to the championship rounds, man. When it came down to the championship rounds, because in the early rounds, I had Shawn Porter winning. In the middle round, I had Danny winning. It came down to the championship rounds for me. And in the last 3 rounds, Porter wanted it more because he outworked it. He backed Danny back up to the ropes. Even if a lot of those punches weren't landing, he was throwing punches. Danny was tired. I told you your boy's one-dimensional. He's one-dimensional.
He's moving up to 154.
Always been one-dimensional.
He's moving up to 154.
Who, Garcia?
Yeah.
He'll beat Charlo.
Yeah, he got a chin, you know.
I think he could beat Charlo because one, he got a chin, and Charlo's not the type of guy who's going to really. He's going to be looking for Danny to counter.
Yeah,
and I think that. I think in terms of pure boxing, Danny's a better pure boxer. You know what I mean? I think Danny has a lot more to offer. That would be interesting to see. That's good. I think that's a good move for Danny. That's a good move for Danny because welterweight, it's crowded. You know what I mean? He needs to get his stock back up there. 154 is perfect for him. He just got to hope that power can carry. But, man, I don't know, man. All right, so before we get off here. Okay. So the winner of this fight, all right, so the winner of this fight automatically gets Spence? Does the winner of this fight automatically get Spence?
I could see Crawford winning and then fighting Usman.
What up, Ty?
And then fighting Spence.
I like talking about
boxing. What'd you say, man?
I could see the winner of this fighting Usman. I don't think Errol Spence really wants to fight Crawford like that.
Can you fight?
Hmm?
Can you fight?
Talk about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can fight.
I know you can. I'm messing with you.
Man, you don't think Spence wants to fight Crawford? Okay, so
Nah.
you think the winner should fight Ugas? Now hold on.
Yeah, Ugas, my bad. I mean,
No, you're good. Okay, see, for me, it depends on how much longer is Spence going to be out with that eye injury.
yeah,
Okay, so we're just going to go with the presumption that Spence ain't going to be back for a while.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I'd say it's probably going to take another 6 months for that eye to heal. So with that being said, the winner of this fight should fight Ugas, unify the belts. Now, when Spence comes back,
yeah. You gotta fight them,
it's
or
undisputed.
he can have a warm up and then fight them.
That's all the belts, cuz. That's undisputed.
Yeah.
That's undisputed right there. You know what I mean? And now, if Crawford pulls this off and then goes off and beats Ugas, which I think he would, you know what I mean? I think I like Ugas. He got skills, but he don't have knockout power to hurt Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, there's no excuse why that fight can't happen or shouldn't happen. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it would be for the undisputed belts. Cuz, you remember the last time on welterweight division had an undisputed champion?
When?
I'll let you take a guess. Who was the last undisputed? Hold on. You know who was the last undisputed welterweight champion in boxing?
Canelo.
No.
Well,
Canelo started at 147, but he moved up to 154 because he was too big for welterweight.
Floyd Mayweather.
Nope.
Hold up.
Close though.
Hold up.
I'll put it this way. You would kind of think of him as a Mayweather who fights southpaw but has no chin.
Didn't Zab Judah knock him down?
Was it Zab Judah?
Yep. The last welterweight champion, undisputed welterweight champion in the world.
I told him that because
he knocked. I heard you in the background. But yes, Zab Judah beat Corey Spinks in Corey Spinks' hometown for the undisputed welterweight titles. And then before he fought Floyd, this is the crazy thing. He was supposed to fight Floyd for all those belts, right? Well, then he took a tune-up fight against Carlos Baldomir.
And lost.
Well, he lost. He lost all the belts but one, the IBF belt. He kept the IBF belt. And then him and Mayweather fought for the IBF belt. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was back in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, when he beat Corey Spinks. So like 16 years. Well, at that time, by the time it happens, it'll be 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, about time. I tell you this. I wish. My thing is if the WBC is the most recognized belt, why isn't it just the WBC?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand because of how boxing operates. It's how they make a lot of their money is because of all these different organizations. You know what I mean? But one belt, one champion.
Yeah.
right.
Because we have too many guys in this sport that's bearing a championship that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, so, but man, I ain't gonna lie. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this fight?
10.
I'm
Because it's
going
going to
with
show
15.
Crawford. It's going to show that Crawford can hang with those dudes.
I'm gonna say I'm giving it a 15 for that fact is I want to see if Crawford can hang with these guys. You know what I mean? Now we finally get to see Crawford fight the cream of the crop at welterweight. Finally.
Who's Crawford?
Finally. And I don't blame that on him. I don't blame that on him at all. I blame that on promoters. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie
Bob
to you.
Arum
You say that
It's not a good
Spence,
promoter for him.
and I'm a big Spence fan. You know what I mean? When you say that Spence didn't want to fight Crawford, I agree with you on that. Because when Crawford approached him face to face, you could see it on Spence's face that he didn't look like he was that interested in fighting him. You can see it. So now, with Spence recovering from that injury, now we got these two fighting. If Crawford goes on, wins this fight, fights Ugas, unifies, now we get the fight we all want. Now there's no more excuses. Crawford versus Spence, undisputed welterweight world title. And in all honesty, if you think about it, man, if it plays out like that, this fight money-wise will be even bigger than it would have been a year ago because it's for all the belts. And that would just add to the event. Not only do we get the two fighters in the ring that we want to see go at each other, but they're going to be fighting for all the belts. Like,
that's going to be a good fight.
That is going to be a really good fight if we get to that point. Because as we said, anything can happen in boxing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if we get to that point, honestly, and a lot of people use this fight as, a plateau for what they see as a classic fight. But I honestly see this fight playing out like this, like Hearns and Leonard. Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. If you never watched that fight, cuz, go back and watch it.
Who won?
The first fight, Sugar Ray Leonard.
And who do you think Sugar Ray Leonard's gonna be?
Huh?
Who do you think Sugar Ray Leonard?
Who I think Sugar Ray Leonard would beat?
Nah, like who out Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? You said the winner was Sugar Ray Leonard. So who's gonna be the Sugar Ray Leonard in the fight?
It's a good question. I'll answer that for you after I see this fight.
All right.
I have to see how I have to see how Crawford does against this type of fighter. Because honestly, this is the perfect type of fighter to prove that against, because it's going to be a dog fight. You know what I mean? So if he can show me that he can roll up his sleeves and fight dirty and pull it out, I might give the edge to Crawford. And the reason why I say this is because sometimes Spence takes his time too much. He be slow sometimes. You know what I mean? With his attack. Like, he waits. And Crawford got fast hands, man. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Spence don't, but Spence is more meticulous. He's more walk you down, then through. He's not like he's it's not like he's pat, 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 pat. He's pat, pat, pat. Pat. You know what I mean?
Shit, cuz I got in a fight before, and the person looked real pretty, but them shits was like pillows when they came, and then it all took was 1 hit, from me, and they on their ass. But all the little pats, it looked pretty, but it didn't feel good. It ain't feel shit. I ain't feel none of it, Some people look real good, but they don't got power.
It's not even that too. Sometimes it's just adrenaline too. You be rolling on so much adrenaline you don't feel it. Man, that's how it be sometimes.
Shit, man.
That's how it be on adrenaline, especially if you're good at taking a shot already, and then you're high energy, you got that adrenaline flowing, it makes it that much easier to absorb punishment.
Right.
But all right, man. So you're going with Crawford by majority decision. I'm going with Porter by split decision. This is going to be an interesting fight, and I'm excited and I'm ready for it.
I'm ready too, guys.
I'm really excited for it. About time we get to see Terrence Crawford fight a top welterweight.
He's the best in the division.
Man,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement, but it's not a bad statement. I'll say that. I'll leave you with that. That's a bold statement, but it's not a bad statement. And you might be right. But time will tell. We got to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I hope it does play out. It's like this. I'm going for Porter, but I want Crawford to win because I want Crawford to fight Ugas, get his belt, and now we get this fight with Spence because now Spence can't make excuses.
Yeah.
You got to fight him.
Yeah.
Even if you got to take a tune-up first coming off that injury, I'll be okay with that. As long as in that contract for the tune-up, you guarantee you're going to fight Bud Crawford after that.
I could see this happening in 2023.
I think so too. Or what about late next year?
It all depends.
Christmas comes early.
Because I want Errol to have a tune-up fight so he's not rusty. So it all depends on how much he takes in the tune-up fight. I don't think he'll take that much damage, but just I want it better safe than sorry. Both fighters 100% coming into the fight.
Absolutely, no excuses.
Yeah.
No excuses whatsoever. We don't need no more excuses. It's time to get these guys in the ring and see who's the best for real. But all right, everybody. This is 717 Sports Chat Live previews. Crawford versus Porter. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. As well as hit that notification icon so you get all the latest content updates when we're going live, etc., etc. I am Marcus. This is Roberto Jr., and we are out for the night, guys. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night and stay blessed.
Good night.